Matthew is here. Perfect. The game is on. Once Matthew is in, for me, the game is on. Yeah, because there are greater results. Many people don't realize this. I do get lots of calls, lots of connections, business moving on. We are pushing some things in Tanzania and Uganda, some things we are pushing in Zambia, some things we are pushing in Nigeria, and just this morning in Cameroon because of these programs. So share, for those people on Facebook, share the link, share to your friends. Let me share mine. Sometimes on the yes, I'm just gonna. Sometimes I don't know how to share very well on the mobile phone, but we'll get there one day. I will share the stuff there. Excellent. I think we are live on both media, on YouTube. It's live. Oh, excellent. So we are on the Lesakutemwa. The subscribers are increasing. We are now up to 65. Yeah, from just a few. Keep subscribing. We want to reach 10,000 and then 100,000 for the purpose of communicating information that works. Fantastic. So I will crack on. What I will do is I will just mute the people on Zoom. Then, and we finish the charge up. We are going to open up for discussions. And I want to just reach out to the community out there. Business tips. The last time we started looking at, in our discussions, the weekly wages for Africa. But before we go into that discussion once again, I want to just bless the community with some business tips. And today I want to look at the critical thinking as a businessman or woman. There are things that you have to closely look at in order for you to break through in the business world. The business world is a very rough terrain. It's a very rough environment. What you have to do when you come into business is to make up your mind. Come rain or come sunshine, I will not quit. Why do I say so? Business is not always as smooth sailing as you want it to be. There are times there's a high and at times there's a low. So when you embark on the business program, that is to run a business that you want to do in the community because there is a problem to be solved, because there is money to be made. We go into business primarily to solve a problem with a view to make money, not to solve a problem with a view not to make no money. Okay, that's a commercial. And there are other models of business that you can use to solve a problem, charitable route. In any other route that you choose, money is cardinal. Money becomes important because there's nothing that is free. So brace yourself for a time of the high and the time of the low. Why do you have to brace yourself for a time when business is booming? Two reasons. When business is booming, it is also likely that you will lose money because you have not planned how to reinvest. If you take a long-term view, you plan your business such that when you have so much profit, how are you going to reinvest the profits? That's very important for the long term, for the tomorrow. How are you going to reinvest the profits such that when business is in a place where it's not as booming as it should be, there is still residual income coming to you? That's what you should be doing as a businessman or woman, which means you must become a serial investor. A serial investor is somebody who always plans to invest every excess resource they have. As a business owner, you are responsible for your employees rather, because you've got to pay them whether your business is doing good or not. As long as they are reporting for work, they are expecting a wage. Now, if you don't plan for the high times when you've got a lot of money, you find it very difficult to pay your workers when the business is at a low ebb. And this discussion I'm putting across to you will become very important as we are looking at how can we change the motivation of workers and give them security in our African settings? Weekly wages can be good, but how do you mitigate against the times when the cash flow is not as good as it should be? So when you plan for the high time when you've got a lot of money, I can assure you that you won't fail to pay your workers when you don't have much money. When you have a lot of money, this is where we say invest in other portfolios. Say, for example, you've made a profit of 90,000 US dollars. A net profit means you've met all the expenses in that year and you have 90,000 US dollars in excess. Two things you can do. The foolish thing you can do to yourself is to go and buy a yacht and start enjoying life, or a boat, in short, you start enjoying life at the expense of your business. Well, the whole of 90,000, you blow it up. Or you can do the wise thing. You get a good percentage of that money, you invest in other portfolios. You can go to your investment manager, advisor. They will advise you where to put that profit, so that the moment you put it in that investment pot, it begins to generate interest. It starts to grow again. So you make money start working for you. The profits that are coming from there, they will help you in the time when things are not as good as they should be. That's very important to take note. At whatever size of your business, it doesn't matter. The thinking is the same. There's always some percentage in your net profits that you should invest in your portfolio, in other portfolios. At the Westminster Open College and Lukomona University, there is a course called the Entrepreneurship Program at a degree, undergraduate and postgraduate. At postgraduate, you design your own problem, and that's the one you use as a case study. At diploma level, the same pattern. Now, in there, we teach how to invest in other portfolios. That is to say, you diversify your business scope. The investment in other portfolios, you are not directly involved in running that business. Somebody else runs it. You are an investor in that business. And that business is giving you back dividends year after year. So you have made that profit you made this year to reproduce for you as long as you keep the investment going in that portfolio. This is how you become sustainable in the long term. And when you make this decision, it is at a time when your business is at a crest. Yeah, at a crest. So the profits that you'll be making in other portfolio, once your business is at a crest, will help you when your business in the trough. The trough is a low period. So now comes to the second part. How do you plan for the low period? It is just what I said. When you are doing very well, money is flowing, cash flow is doing good, begin to plan for the time when business won't do good. In my experience, for so many years, over 20 years in business, I've found that low times always come. You don't plan for them, it just happens. It could be by nature, what's happening in the natural environment. It could be by other factors, the shift in the demand. It could be that the products you're providing are no longer needed. Anything. For example, the pandemic just came from nowhere. Nobody planned for this. It just came from nowhere. People who had high reserves, they survived for a certain time. People who never had high reserves anywhere, the moment this thing happened, they collapsed one day. Which is why if you look at your high streets, wherever you are in the world, certain businesses have disappeared. They only lasted for 2 months in the pandemic. But other businesses, they were resilient. They're still surviving. They've got certain plans that absorb the shocks. And one of the shock absorbers is to find where you can invest these things in which portfolios. I leave it there. So I want all of us in our communities never to consume your profits completely. Make part of that, take it as a seed to invest in other portfolios. When you do that, you are actually being prudent. Think about the employees, which include yourself. think about the very business vehicle itself and its survival. Because if you keep withdrawing everything from your business, eventually you're going to ground your own business. And if you want to study more, I encourage you to join either the university just on my left-hand side or the college on my right-hand side. People who are on these programs, the entrepreneurship, are laughing now. Those who started in 2018 are doing fabulous well. I can tell you this. I'll show some of the testimonies which are pre-recorded one day. Thank you very much. With that in mind, I would like to invite you. In fact, before I do that, let me see if I can type on the Facebook link for those who want to join the live in the back office. Let me type in, and I'll ask whoever is in the back office to open the video as I type on the Facebook link the number for those people who want to come in and join in. Fantastic. It's fabulous. While I'm doing this, I would like you to keep sharing this link and let other people come in so that we can share in the good knowledge that is being blessed on this platform. Oh, I can see it is automatically shared on the, yes, I can now comment on this. Share. Yes, I'll be commenting. Now I'm able to share on other people's pages. I'm on the laptop here. Yes, I've shared on one page and I'm going to share on another page. Tell people out there, this is good education, free business education every Fridays. If you are missing this, you are missing everything that you would have learned on business without paying a school fee, because we discuss real good stuff, which are practical stuff, things you cannot learn in a classroom, a formal setting, but it is an informal setting where you can learn stuff. Okay, I am posted there. Now, let me invite the panelists. We'll start looking at another level of the effects of the weekly wages, how this can pan out in Africa. Last week, we looked at the positive side on the employee. Now I want to look at on the positive side of the employer and the negative side of this, or the benefits and what we call cost-benefit analysis. Let's see the benefits and the cost that comes with it. So let me welcome Matthew in Leeds and Grace in Essex, I think. I'm very well versed with people where they are. Welcome, my great panelists and investors with a lot of knowledge. Like last week, I would like you to have your time and just deliberate the summaries of things that have been moving through your mind and the chest you want to share with people on the subject of the importance of weekly wages with respect to the advantages that an employer can have, and also these disadvantages that can be found within an employer. Because last week, we talked a lot more on the benefits that an employee can derive. So let's start with that point. And I would like Matthew to have his time. You've got 3 good minutes that you can just hammer the points. If he left some points last week, this is the time to hammer them. But let me say this, I'm so delighted that the word is going around. When we do these programs, people afterward, they do share a lot. And in recent times, I did get a lot of text messages coming through. And I discovered there was one precious lady in America put one of the captions on a Facebook page. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. So people are being blessed by this and they're actually engaging. And today I had another call from a Cameroonian lady, details passed by one of our members of Amakaya Wingi to link into these things that we do. So that's very good for us because it's bringing impact in the community, which we want. Fantastic. Matthew. You can unmute yourself. Yes. Is it allowing you? Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah, done it. Yes, good evening, viewers. Good evening, panelists. I don't know how many are there now. Hello, Sister Grace.
Yes.
Hello. Well, like we were last week discussing about the advantages mostly for the weekly wages is one, the employee gets to have income, at least regular income on a short, period, and ending up not to get in debt. And then he's also motivated to go to work because he knows that next Friday I'm getting paid, or next Monday, whichever day he gets paid, or he or she gets paid. So that is a motivation. And you find that workers tend to work, put in more effort in a way in the work they're doing, in order to, so it's a motivation in a way. It's a motivation to the workers. And that also benefits the employer, because the employer basically is, when the workers are coming to work motivated and doing the work appropriately, it gives him the boosting. Basically, his business the production will be better, and the product basically will meet the market demand in that case. And I think the more motivated the workers are, the better they work, and the more production is achieved. The goals, the demand is being met because of the motivation of the workers. On his state, basically, I think on his state, okay, it's a regular income, but if workers are motivated, they are able to produce more. Therefore, you'll have cash flow, which you can use to budget and regularly pay workers for weekly wages, and put aside that, okay, he's not, short of money, or, having to, because of regular payment, but that can be set aside if the production is going well. So it is very, very, it's an advantage for both sides. And another thing is, he won't be able to fork out extra cash when workers have got to come in and, oh, boss, give us, can I get an advance? Can I get this one, unexpected payouts, which are not good for business, you see, because you got to budget for everything. And then the worker comes in, oh, my child is sick. Oh, I can't, can I go to the clinic? Can I have some money to take the, all these are, the drain on your income and cash, cash flow. So it is better the worker is motivated, he's got enough income within a short period of weekly payment. That gives him, an advantage, that he doesn't have to run to his boss or to get money, paying. And that helps his boss to have, he's not paying out without it, emergency payouts, which are no good for business, like I said. So it is very, very good idea also for the economy of the country. Basically, the more workers are getting this weekly payment, there's cash flow, there's business for the retailers, other markets, market businesses are benefiting because people have got cash in their pocket. Those are people that they get wages, they're not really like on a huge salary. So they can spend money regularly in the week for the things that they need. Market things, shoes, small things, food stuff, and all that. That will keep the economy cash flowing, and therefore it is important that we introduce this in Africa. And I'm sure, like you are setting up businesses now, we'll try and make that as one of the pioneering, platform where people can start getting weekly wages, and it's a matter of planning. And you can make an agreement with the bank. The bank, if your banking system is fine, you can have the bank, allocate you some wage. If you are short for, they can advance you some wage if you haven't got cash on that particular week. So that is what you can work on. It is that will encourage more, economic activities, sales and purchasing and all that. So I submit on that. I think that's my advantage of weekly payments.
Thank you so much, Matthew. I like the point you mentioned towards the end. In case a business struggles, they can go to the bank and make an arrangement. Yeah, I agree with you. That is quite common in the UK. They call it manufacturing. And I think quite a few banks do it, where they sell you their money and at a certain percentage, maybe 5%. And there's also private individuals, very wealthy individuals, high net worth individuals. They sell their money, they can give you that money, and then they ask for a percentage. I remember in one of the businesses in 2001, when we launched the care industry, we did approach one of a gentleman who was running this. He gave us quite a lot of money to pay the staff. In 3 months' time, we give him back the money, but at a percentage. Yes, very good points. Excellent. Grace, Investor Grace.
Hello, good evening, viewers. Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, Mr. Mtonga.
Good evening.
I think there are more advantages than disadvantages. Some of them, my colleague has already illustrated on them. I think paying weekly on an employer, it also disciplines an employer so that he'll be able to be setting aside certain amount of money for employees. No matter what problem we have, he won't touch, because he will know that I need to pay them next week. I need to pay them next week. So it gives that self-discipline. And on the disadvantage on an employer is where an employer renders a service maybe to the government or any parastatals, and then if they don't pay him on time, then the cycle will be broken. So the cycle there has to continue. The employer is paid on time, and then he pays his employees on time, unless he has got extra cash. Or that's when now he'll go to the bank and get some either overdraft, or he can have some arrangement with the bank to lend him some money. But it's a very good strategy because it disciplines the employer very much. I think most of the points Mr. Mtonga has already said them. Thank you, Doc.
Excellent. I like this point you mentioned on the disadvantage, because if you're working in most African settings, governments or parastatals, anything that's linked to governments, their invoices are heavily delayed. In fact, let me not just say Africa. Everywhere when you work for governments, if you've got a tender from a government, you're serving them, they guarantee you they're going to pay you, but they won't pay you in 30 days as a normal credit period. Their credit period is longer, normally 90 days. And that can be very, very problematic. And I know in the UK, in the councils, people have got tender for the councils. Payments take a long time to come. I learned this from some of the care industries. In 3 months, that's 90 days, quite a long time. Now you've got to pay your staff there. And much of these payments, as we noted in the UK, is weekly, a week in arrears. So if you don't have a good cash flow and you've got a tender with the government, you can see on the paper there is a lot of money coming in, but it's going to come 90 days later. But your staff, they need money. They don't want the 90 days business. That's your own business. That's probably a bigger disadvantage if you have lots of companies, a good number of them having contracts with government. There will be quite a big issues there. Now, how we can mitigate against this? It is another form of business. You know, in the commercial world, any problem that faces a business is an opportunity for an institution to bring a solution. This is where banks can also make some free money. Because as depositors, many depositors to banks hold that money for quite a long time. When you deposit money, banks hold that money. They can sell that money to companies at a good rate, not the actual rate where, for example, if the LIBOR is 5% or 2% right now, or 2.9%, that's a guideline. This special arrangement for manufacturing can be negotiable, have a different rate, you see? But in the Western world, in the UK, there are parameters where you cannot extort somebody, but also there are parameters where you can arrange for high interest, depending on the circumstance within the law. So in our African setting, we can adopt some of these things. I know there might be that I don't know, I can't, but let's talk about it as if it isn't there. We can adopt these things such that banks now also open up certain leeways to do manufacturing using that one. Not the invoice one. The invoice one is different. Manufacturing, they guarantee you that each time you have wages, just send the wage bill to us. We're going to pay all your workers. Now the arrangement is this: when your invoices come, they will not land in your direct to you. They must land into the lender's account or the person who gave you money. That's how it works. So as you sign those details, the wage bill is coming, your money is coming back in, it goes straight to the one who gave you money because they have already solved your problem, which means when your customers pay you, those invoices will be cleared through to the person who paid you the money, such that yourself as a business, you won't fall into problems. Why do I say so? Let's say, for example, they've given you $100,000 for the next 90 days to pay your workers. Now, when the invoices are coming, being cleared from your customers, come again into your account at your disposal. If you are not disciplined, you might touch that money, causing now havoc. Because that money had been spent already. People, that money is no longer yours, it's been spent. So it's better you don't touch it. But a way to mitigate against such errors is to agree that the money, when it comes, it must be paid in this account or escrow account where your lender has access. You have access, but have no right to withdraw, if you understand what I mean.
Yes.
So that there's a security and continuity of the system. There's no double owing. This man or woman who lent you money has paid your staff. Why should they pay you again and then you pay him or her? It's better the money goes direct to him. Then he takes out his own money with a profit, then the remainder they remit to you, which is always minimal.
Yeah.
So we can look, how do you think of that? Let's go at manufacturing, because that could be a point where we see a problem. People might say, yeah, let's introduce this, but then we need a middleman who is a financier, a bank, or other guys and women who have real good cash. Even an individual like yourself, you can apply, you can underwrite such a system. You approach a bank, I've got 20 million or 5 million, whatever money you have and you don't use, you can be the underwriter. They structure you such that if people come to borrow from this bank, they're actually borrowing your money. So let's have a look at that. How do you think about this? Could this system be of help?
I think so. I think that system used to be there because I remember my father was a commercial farmer. He used to deal mostly tobacco, maize, and sunflower. But for tobacco, it was under TBZ. So what used to happen, we used to see the bank managers coming every year to negotiate or
Okay.
to try and give them loans. They used to get workers loans and everything, whatever they need, the money. And then when the tobacco is packaged, he just used to load it there in Zimbabwe. He would load it on the goods train. The TBZ will receive the tobacco and they will do the auctioning, the selling and everything. Then they will deposit the money in the bank. After I think they have taken their money, or the bank now will remove their money, the bank gets its money, then the remaining now will be his, which used to work very well. So even today, if some banks can be open to such arrangements, it can still work. Or as you said, as an individual, I work with the bank. I tell them I'm lending my money to a few businessmen, but on the basis that when they get their money, before they have access to it, my money has to come out first before it goes to them. I think it can be worked around. I don't know how the bank system operates now, but I know it can be implemented.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I think those systems used to be there, and I think they're still there. But now, because the bank can never come to you if they have no interest, vested interest. So basically, if you are making money, the bank will come to you because they know that you will make money for them and they'll make money on you. So basically what it is when the bank comes, like if say they give you a loan, that is to their advantage because they know that they'll get an interest on that and make money on you. And then when you sell your product, they'll get their money back and, encourage you also to bank in their, in their bank. In this case, they'll have capital, which they'll need to invest and make money on it. So, the bank is clever, win-win on each side. So it's there now. I don't know, but because we haven't got I don't know, still commercial farmers, I think they use that system, where the bank, the bank can advance you, to get products, to get equipment and all that. When they see that your farming, is doing well and you are able, to bring back the money in time within the season and all that. So the bank really does that. But it will be basically mostly to their advantage. But you can make an arrangement for, I think, like you said, in case you are short of cash, then you'll have an overdraft, which is like a short-term loan, for you to sort out your payment, your salaries and all that. I think they do that also because they know that at every stage you will have to incur some fees and payments. So the bank is definitely interested in that. If they'll assess your business, they'll look at that and then see if you are able to, to fulfill the commitment of that particular, so all banks have got that provision. And for any businessman that is bringing in money, and they can see that surely the business is doing well, they're very much welcome to come to give you those conditions, and you will definitely enjoy the benefits, but they'll make money on you. That's one thing you should know. But if you're making money, that's not a problem because they are a good media of, not for you to hold cash. So you can just say, okay, every week you'll be sending to my workers. But that's a disadvantage also to them because they don't like dispersing money frequently. You see that the banks don't like it too. They want you to keep the money a bit longer so they can gain some interest and use it for. So it's a win-win, lose-lose situation. They have a disadvantage on their part and a disadvantage on your part, but it's still an advantage if they fulfill that for you. every week you don't have to go withdrawing every week, go and withdraw. You just they pay direct to your workers. That will be that is a good arrangement, which I'm sure the bank is willing to do that. You know, yeah.
Yes. But of course, in business, we go there to make money. So
exactly.
We are solving a problem, and at the end of this problem, we must also remain sustainable. And I think on that, on the bank side, I will think the same way. It's a big thing. Look, I'm solving a huge problem. If I don't give you this money, all your workers walk away, your business will collapse. So in return, I need also to see that, with the effort, because my product to you is this service, is money. My product is the money. So I'm selling you money. So that money I sell you must come back with a profit. Just like you, the business you're doing, whatever you're selling, must come up with a markup such that you remain sustainable. So we have to have that understanding, all of us, and to certain conditions. I think it's a good thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why Grace, want to come in, Grace, on that point.
Which one?
You want to come in? I heard your voice.
No.
Yes.
No.
Which is why I was coming to a certain point of linking the mindset. I think we are almost coming to the end of the salaries. I think we are agreeing. Veronica, good to see you there. We are beginning to see the more advantages than disadvantages, really. And we also begin to see more solutions and more opportunities for the money markets, the money world, etc. It's very, very important. This is how you develop economies. Discuss solutions like these ones. I think it also comes to the way you think. I was talking to somebody about how money works. They say, "Oh, I didn't think that way." Because this person, they get money weekly, over 400 pounds every week. So their savings are just going boom, boom. I say, you see, it's because you're having shorter term income, and in every week you can't spend 400 pounds on what?
Well, some people do spend.
Yeah.
More than that.
So, and I said to them, look, the way to avoid spending 400 pounds on useless things is to stop going to shops. When money comes in your account, it doesn't mean when you see money in your account, it's not the time to go to a shop. What? To do what? Oh, money coming in your account is not a motivating factor for you to go to the shop. So over a while, they began changing their habits. Just practice this. When money comes in your account, just behave as if nothing has come. So they tried that for a month. They saved over 2,000. This was a miracle. Say, how did this happen? No, it's not rocket science. You stopped going to the shop.
Yeah, it's a mindset, isn't it?
Yes, it's a mindset. Now, this thing, we can now delve into. I remember it's Felix who said we should now also teach people not to overplan on the little income they're having. Having agreed that there are more advantages on shorter term wages, like weekly. Now let's go and tackle the other one, the mindset, the way we think about money in our African setting. And I'll open this with an example. I remember in those days with a case study, because I'm Zambian and I lived in Zambia for many years before I came to the UK. I remember in Chimwemwe, there was a house I once made where we are all grown up. Nobody will remember this, and I don't know. Every month end, if there was a house, you always had to go and dance, and because that family, when they got paid, it was just come and dance and eat for the whole community. Well, I was very young. I didn't understand everything, but I think looking back, I asked a question: are some of those things necessary? The way we celebrate money. Let's have a look at how we now respect money, because we could have very good systems. Money is coming in our hands, but the way we handle it, when it is regular. Let's open up at that point. How should we respect our money? How should we celebrate that we've got money? Grace.
I think first, as you said, is for one to understand what are their immediate needs, what are their needs, everyday needs, monthly needs, yearly needs. And then you have to also to have understand an aspect of savings, aspect of investments, short-term, medium, and long-term investments. With that mindset, you'll be able to plan when the money comes. Let's say there are 4 weeks in a month. You can plan that first week. If it's the first week of the month, okay, we'll say the first week, the salary which comes first week is to pay my bills. The salary which comes in the second week, okay, the bills are so much, you can't just pay them with the one week wage. You divide it in two. First month is the smaller bills. Then the second month, depending on when you are paying your bills. Now it's for the, like if you are still paying for a house rent, you say it's for house rent. The third week is for home use or the other expenses. Then the third week, that's when you say, okay, this one will be for savings. Or if it's if you calculate according to your expenses, you'll be able.
We are on the weekly wages, yeah?
Yes.
First week and second and third
yes.
week. Okay, yes.
You'll be able to adjust a certain percentage from your savings to top up on the other weeks. I think that way, like for me, because I'm a weekly paid person, that's how I do my calculations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it works very well for me.
Yes, you plan them that way. Matthew?
Yeah, I concur with my sister. I think what people need to do is they tend to plan while they haven't got money. But when the money comes in, they forget to plan. They forget to budget.
They forget to follow the plan.
Exactly. So they end up just, in fact, because they must have even left the notes at home when they come from work and they've got the money, they pass the shop, they shop, they buy, because you get attracted. There's this law of attraction between money and shopping. You see, that ends up, it's like an automatic thing which comes, is, oh yeah, I can see something. Oh yeah, I should have bought, I said I'll buy this. I'll go in, once you go in a shop, you will not come out with one thing. That is literally one of you end up carrying so many things, you don't even know how how you manage to get that. So that is one thing, maybe planning and budgeting. That's what people should do. Okay, you're getting a weekly wage. You say, okay, this week, like my sister says, it will cater for, I'll buy I'll buy my meal, which will take me, how many weeks again? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? That means I've got the mail, I'll buy some on deal and all that. So that then the next week you say, okay, like you buy this, but that never happens in most of the time. So what we don't do also is money, we take it as for spending. Instead, trying to make it as a tool, using money as a tool, that which will produce money. You see?
Yes.
That's why I say in our country, we need to start from kindergarten now, business training. In Zambia, they should have a curriculum. In the curriculum, they should have business training and practically doing it. That will cause the kids to grow up with a business mindset.
That's right.
Because
if you want to just move your phone slightly so that we can see you, we're only seeing the corner of the house.
All right. It's on the stand which is moving. Okay,
Yes,
that's right.
as you
Is that
keep
okay?
talking, it's like
Is that
as
okay?
you keep talking, you keep
Okay, I'll
disappearing.
sit up. I'll
Okay,
sit
yes,
up a bit.
that's better.
Yeah.
So basically, what I think is because the mindset is very, very important. You know, because we can do all the other things, but what we think, the Bible says also, as a man thinketh, so is he. So that is very, very important. Whatever we think is what our vibration, our desires are moving us to. So that needs to be looked at. Let's use money as a tool. And the problem is in Zambia, people don't know what to do with investment. The only thing they could do is maybe buy, you know, things that they can sell immediately and use the money again.
But when you say that the problem in Zambia, you as
Mindset.
Zambian, you know how to invest. So so that one statement may probably can be rephrased.
Yeah, I mean,
there's quite a few people I know in Zambia who know how to invest. So how can you rephrase that one to be inclusive or to generalize it?
I think it's not Zambia only, it's in Africa.
Most parts, the majority.
Most part of Africa, you find that the money is for spending basically most of the time. They don't do, you know, add value to money. That's what I can say.
Okay. So we are looking at some, because what was going through my mind right now as we're talking this, how to help our mindset is this. If I am in this particular country, for example, Zambia or Congo, DRC and Congo, or Nigeria, I think it's Tudor Bismarck. He was giving a talk in his sermon somewhere. I bought a tape at one of the conferences. He said, if you want to do well financially, also try to think this way. If you are in this country, pick any country in the world, there will be those people, whether the economy is very bad, in that very country where the economy is very bad, there are some people who are doing very well.
That's true.
Ask yourself this question. What is it that they are doing with the money that I am not doing? He says, any country in the world where the economy is rubbish, where they don't even have their own currency, there are some people who are still doing very, very well. So ask yourself this question. What is it that they are doing with their money when they get paid? What do they do with their money that they multiply and their business are legitimate? We're not talking about those people who do these wrong things to sell things which should be sold. So I think that's a very good place to be. There you seek mentorship. Yeah. If you've got a business running here, the same products, and the cash flow is coming in, this one is increasing, yours is not increasing. I think it's good to go and knock on their door. Sir or madam, can you help me? I'll pay a mentorship fee. I want to learn how you manage your business. What do you do with your money? Because the point you have brought in, many of us look at money for spending. And it's quite common in Africa. I'm an African, I know this for sure.
Yes.
When the money comes, your heart is do. A place you've never been to, that's where I want to go now. A very expensive place. I think we need to change that.
Yeah.
Yes. I've trained myself in many areas at the moment. So far, I was telling somebody that, if things are as they are, to become broke sometimes is a choice. Sometimes it's a choice, sometimes it's not. Like we talked about the pandemic and the other things that have happened, those things are not planned. But in a normal circumstance, when cash flow is coming through, that's when we make decisions to spend or not to spend or to invest. I think the point I like there is make money as a tool to reproduce more money.
Mhm. That's true. That's true.
Grace, you wanted to come in on that one?
Yes, as you said, mentorship. I think some people can have money, but when they have money, what they think is like they have reached their destination. They don't think of tomorrow. So I think we need some education, money education, as far as primary school,
Yes.
to teach people the use of money in the society, on ourselves. Even in our churches, I think we should be, because we don't talk about money. If anything, we avoid to talk about money in churches.
Yes.
But those are the things which affect us every day. Money affects our lives every day. And we need money every day, just like we need prayers every day. So if such things can be discussed from a tender age, even as we grow, we'll be knowing how to use money, when to make money, how to make money in a clean way.
Yes, I like that point, in a clean way. Coming to that point, Matthew, do you want to comment on the point on in a clean way?
Yeah, that's true. First, like you've said, my sister, the church talks about money, but not in the way that people can have the money. You see what I mean? It's like talking about money is to bring money to the church. Most of the churches, what they do, but not empowering the people to say that money, when you have it, use it in a clean way, like you say, my sister, to make more money so that the church can prosper. When you get your congregation making money, that means the church will be prosperous. They'll tithe, they'll do the offering. And that's what we're not telling the people in church. We are telling them to go and pray, God to provide. But God is saying, look, I've given you 2 hands, 2 feet, and your brains in between your ears to start thinking and do, imagine the things that you want to have, get what you have. That's what the church is not teaching us, to say, there's means of making money. You can invest in this. You can do that. They have no knowledge. In fact, the pastors themselves don't have knowledge. They've come from the school of memorizing and, write an exam after you memorize the thing and then come and write the exam. That is all they know today. Okay, the knowledge I learned at school, that is what they have now, but they haven't themselves put into practice what is it that they learned at school. They didn't even if they did economics, as long as they haven't got a job, they end up just looking, like they're not economists who are supposed to be thinking about, okay, what are the, things that I can make money with? How can I make money? How can I produce? Can I help people? And they can help people to make money by, coming up with less, seminars and all that. Those are some of the things we're not doing. So definitely money can be made clean in church, even out of church, and that use it, when we use it as a tool, we can, the prosperity, the wealth of the wicked can come to you, because definitely the wealth of the wicked is not going to drop with shades, from sky and boom on you and become rich in a night, overnight. Even people will be suspicious of you. They'll say, how come yesterday he was broke, today he's a millionaire? You can't do that. So it's working, putting your thoughts, your plans and everything, put your money to use. Is it one of the billionaires who says, one first rule of money is never lose money. Then he says the second one, never forget the first rule. The first rule is never to lose. So never forget the first rule. That's his second rule.
That's good. Okay.
So as we lose money, and never forget to remember.
Clean money also involves being patient. That is to say, when you start a business, in normal circumstances, many businesses It's after 10th or 15th year, they begin to make a huge amount of profits.
Yes.
Believe me, that's a legitimate, solid business. So a business journey doesn't really promise you overnight riches. It's consistency. Then you grow and grow. It's a journey of refinement, changing, re-strategizing, and understanding. It's like a baby is born today. They don't just start walking. If you see a business producing much, dig down the history, where it's come from, and the difficulties they've gone through. Clean money always is made that way. But also there are other things that can make you money very quickly. If you build on top of that, especially in the financial markets, they can make you money quickly, and they can also make you lose money quickly.
Oh, yes.
It depends on your risk averse. So it's important to have knowledge, diverse knowledge in these areas, and work with experts. Very important. Don't be afraid of losing money. Coming to the point of churches, I think the role of the church really isn't much for, in my view, to teach people certain techniques, but it is to invite experts who are already in those systems to lead those workshops, if you understand. The role of a pastor or church minister is very different from the role of a business man or woman who actually teaches on the techniques of making money. I think what churches could do and should do, some of them do, is invite experts, create a platform, create a platform and invite the expert to come and teach those things so that the people in the congregations can also benefit. Why we have talked about the church, because in African settings, the church has a bigger influence. They have a bigger voice. What the pastors say at the pulpit carries much more weight. If we can influence those areas for business understanding, changing of mindset, we have won 50% of the battle to refine the economies of Africa. I believe so. So churches can be useful. In fact, it's good. It's very positive to work with churches because millions of people don't go to churches, and other faith groups that do exist in those places. People sit down and they believe the voice of a church leader or the faith leader. So it's a good place for us to start from, to start changing the mindset. Awesome. This program, I'm loving it more and more, and the time is becoming shorter and shorter. It's already 1 hour. It's already 8 o'clock. This is, I think we need to go on Sky TV with this one. Yes, have our own channel there as well to capture other people who don't watch Facebook. Yeah, it is, the impact it's having is so good. I'm so delighted. When we put our numbers there, we do get feedback. And on our Amakaya Wingi WhatsApp group, if we are to add everyone, I think we reach 400. And I'm thinking, can we do this? Should we put everyone on one group? I don't know. We shall debate on this one. So what we do, we've got several other groups such that it looks smaller and manageable. Because if you've got 100, it will be too noisy. We don't know what's going where. Your 1 minute closing remark, Grace.
What I can say is let us utilize the opportunities around us, and where we find the problems, let's look for the information. Let's work with the people who are successful in those areas, people with knowledge in certain areas, for us to run successful businesses. Let us gather as much information as we can. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, okay. What I can say on that is just, money and business, we need to go. Education is very important also in that case. We need to learn. We need to be students of money and business, how to do it. Especially, I'll give example of our country, Zambia, which I think is all over Africa. Most of them are not, knowledgeable of what business really is, apart from selling tomatoes, and which we grew up with our parents sometimes doing that. So we need to begin to be students of, money and business. Learn everywhere we go. We should learn. We should see things. And how come, like you said, looking at mentors, people who've succeeded, and say, what is it? Go there and do some volunteer work and just find out. Say, okay, tell me how you came about to do this business, and what can I just learn from you? People are willing to do that, I'm sure. That's very, very, that's what we need to do. We need to begin to do extraordinary things by just being given to free. Give, and it shall come back to you. So give energy, give help, let that guy help you, and you come up, you come out to be a winner.
Thank you so much. There you have it, audience on Facebook and YouTube. This is excellent. My concluding remarks on this one is that keep learning. Two rules, keep learning. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1, keep learning. Bye for now, Facebook. Have your own cup of tea over there. And people on the back office, don't go. Let's have a cup of tea.